Military News Update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Military gains ground in Maguindanao campaign against loose firearms. Philippine Air Force Flying School concludes aviation operations course. 160 party list groups to vie for 63 seats in the upcoming midterm elections. Government eyes chartered flights to repatriate OFWs from Lebanon.
Good day everyone as well to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo, Quezon City. Today is Thursday, October 3, and we will bring you the latest news from the armed forces and other information around the Philippines. I am Rolf Suzon for AFP Community News.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our stories, the military campaign against loose firearms in the Maguindanao provinces progressed with the surrender of 18 assorted firearms and a 60 mortar tube. Local officials and civilians turned over the weapons in support of all the government's small arms and light weapons management program. Lieutenant Colonel Jerome Peñalosa of the 2nd Mechanized Battalion said this reflects the officials' commitment to peace, especially with the upcoming elections. Nearly 80 firearms have been surrendered in the 6th Infantry Division's jurisdiction this year.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Air Force Flying School successfully concluded the Integrated Military Aviation Operations Orientation Class 02-2024 at Fernando Air Base, Pampanga. The class included 14 officers, 10 from the Philippine Army's Aviation Regiment, and 4 from the Air Force, marking the first time Army officers were part of the program. The course focused on the aviation operations, air power, and aircraft systems with curriculum enhancements like flight simulators. PAF's Commandant Colonel Justino Ramolete praised the graduates, highlighting their role in advancing military aviation capabilities.
Armed Forces Radio.
We have a report coming in about PBBM stresses importance of Misamis Occidental's insurgency-free declaration for promoting peace. Go on for the details, Kath.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. emphasized the significance of the promoting the peace after the insurgency-free declaration of Misamis Occidental. He said that peace will neither be attainable nor sustainable without accompanying development. Relatedly, he urged local government units to strengthen collaboration with national agencies and stakeholders to ensure insurgents do not regain ground. President Marcos also highlighted the stability and progress go hand in hand in securing the future of Misamis Occidental. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Kath.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, the government expects to collect 102 billion pesos over 5 years following the enactment of the value-added tax on digital services, or RA 12023. Finance Secretary Ralph Recto announced that 7.25 billion pesos is projected for this year, with only 50% compliance so far. The revenue will fund essential infrastructure projects, including schools, roads, and hospitals. Additionally, 5% of the revenue will support the creative industries, empowering future Filipino creators. A 120-day transition period will follow the release of the laws implementing rules and regulations for smooth implementation.
DWDD National News.
The Commission on Elections has left the decision on the early implementation of a gun ban for the 2025 midterm elections to the Department of the Interior and Local Government and the Philippine National Police. COMELEC Chair George Erwin Garcia clarified that the Commission has no authority to enforce a gun ban before the campaign period, which starts on January 12, 2025. He acknowledged the PNP's intent to prevent election-related violence, but noted that such measures are legally tied to the election period.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
On the other line, let us hear from Jai about JRTF Alcac 11 enhances strategies to prevent communist group resurgence.
Of the Joint Regional Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict 11 held its third quarter full council meeting in Davao City yesterday. The meeting focused on refining strategies to prevent the resurgence of communist terrorist groups and emphasized the reintegration of former underground mass organization members into productive people's organization. 10th Infantry Aguila Division Commander Major General Alan Hambala called for a review of the task force structure to strengthen peace efforts in the region, highlighting the surrender of 109 former rebels to the 10th Infantry Aguila Division. This is Jai reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippine.
Thank you, Jai.
DWDD National News.
The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas forecasts that inflation will range from 2% to 2.8% in September, 2 days before the Philippine Statistics Authority releases its official figures. The central bank attributes this lower inflation estimate to the negative base effect of declining food prices, particularly rice, meat, and vegetables. Additionally, lower domestic oil prices and a strengthened peso against the dollar will counterbalance rising costs of fish, fruits, and electricity. The Monetary Board assured that it will continue implementing measures to stabilize prices, aiming for sustainable economic growth and employment.
DWDD National News.
Batanes Province remains under signal number 1 as Typhoon Julian continues to weaken, was slowly moving northeastward outside the Philippine area of responsibility. According to Pag-asa, the center of the eye of the typhoon was estimated at 270 kilometers west-northwest of Itbayan, Batanes, outside Par. Typhoon Julian will continue to bring cloudy skies with scattered rains over extreme northern Luzon, while the easterlies will be affecting the eastern section of Mindanao. Batanes and Babuyan Islands will have cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
And now let's hear our reporter on the ground about Senate President urges DND to submit espionage law amendments. Go on for the details, Mars.
Yes, Ruth, good afternoon. Senate President Francis Cheese Escudero called on the Department of National Defense to submit proposed amendment to strengthen the espionage law. This followed Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro request to revise the law so it applies during peacetime. Escudero urged the DND to clarify its recommendation, noting that the current espionage law is rarely used and only applies in times of war under the 1932 revised penal code. He emphasized the need for clear criteria on espionage and suggested making it a priority in Legislative Executive Development Advisory Council meeting. This is Mars reporting for AFP Community News 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mars.
DWDD National News.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council said 8 people were confirmed injured due to Typhoon Julian, while 1 person is confirmed missing from the Cordillera Administrative Region. The 8 injured were from Region 2 or Cagayan Valley. Meanwhile, NDRRMC also reported that 43,093 families or 149,293 persons from Ilocos Region, Region 2 and CAR were affected by the tropical cyclone.
DWDD National News.
PVOX reported that the Taal volcano had a phreatobagmatic eruption. This happens when erupting magma comes into contact with water. Alert level 1 remains in Taal volcano, which means that hydrothermal or tectonic activity beneath the volcano may be occurring. PVOX also added that steam-driven gas or hydrothermal explosions can also occur without the warning.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
From First CRG, let us hear some information from Joanne about JDF Tala promotes lasting peace and inclusive development through leaflet drop in car.
The Tactical Operations Group 2 of the Philippine Air Force 98th Infantry Masinag Battalion and the 103rd Infantry Mabalasik Battalion under the 503rd Infantry Peace and Justice Brigade of the 5th Infantry Star Division Philippine Army joined forces for a leaflet drop and resupply mission in the provinces of Apayao and Kalinga. The joint operation engaged on an aerial reconnaissance mission in the municipalities of Cabugao and Conar in Apayao and Tabuk City in Kalinga on September 26, 2024. The leaflet dropping targeted the barangays of Nabuangan, Maragat, Dagara, Katablangan, Karagawan, and Leneng in Apayao. This initiative sought to foster camaraderie with the local communities and share pertinent information for the promotion of lasting peace and inclusive development. Moreover, the area reconnaissance and resupply mission support the 503rd Infantry Brigade stationed in Barangay Kalanan, Tabuk City, Kalinga. This is to ensure the availability of allocation of essential goods for the Star Troopers on the ground, advancing their capability to protect communities and uphold security in the region. More than just a success, the mission served as a promise that 5th ID as Defenders of the North remains committed in its mandate to national security, peace building, and development in the Cordillera region while strengthening its relationship with the local populace. 5th ID provides needed support to its personnel in the field. This is Joan Sagaok reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne.
DWDD National News.
Moving on to another story, the Commission on Elections vowed to stringently screen all certificates of candidacy submitted by aspirants for the upcoming midterm elections. COMEX spokesperson John Rex Laudanco said the Supreme Court lessened the criteria for removing nuisance candidates from the official list of candidates. He explained that based on two recent decisions on the SC, a candidate could not be declared a nuisance just because of the lack of financial capacity to launch a nationwide campaign or just because he or she is unpopular or has no political party. But Laudanco noted that they still have a basis for screening candidates. One of these is by checking if the aspirants understand the positions they are running for.
DWDD National News.
A total of 160 party list groups would contest the 63 available seats at the House of Representatives in the upcoming 2025 midterm polls. Commission on Elections records show that of the 160 party list groups, 42 were newly accredited for purposes of the 2025 elections, while the 118 others got their accreditation in previous years. In the 2022 national polls, a total of 177 party list groups participated. Under Republic Act 7941, party list representatives shall constitute 20% of the total seats in the House of Representatives.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Beth Tanyete about 89th IB celebrates 7th anniversary, honors, achievements, and future aspirations.
The 89th Infantry Battalion marked its 7th founding anniversary at its headquarters in Santo Tomas, Davao del Norte. The event, led by the Lieutenant Colonel Roel M. Tabas, highlighted the unit's home of learning from the past, striving and the present and the strengthening for a progressive Philippines. The celebration, graced by Brigadier General Fabi and Ramirez and Brigadier General Marion T. Angkao, including a wreath laying for fallen heroes, vehicle blessings, and award of outstanding troops performance. The event culminated in a social night symbolizing unity and future aspiration. This is Betanieta reporting for the AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Beth Tanyete.
DWDD National News.
The Philippine government is considering chartered flights to repatriate overseas Filipino workers in Lebanon. This comes after the offensive launched by Israel against the Hezbollah group. According to the Department of Migrant Workers Under Secretary Bernard Olalaya, the supposed September 25 flight, which will facilitate the repatriation of 15 of our OFWs, did not push through because the flights were cancelled due to the conflict. Currently, the DMW is talking to some airline companies so that the chartered flights will be able to accommodate. A total of 430 FWs and 28 dependents have been repatriated from Lebanon so far.
DWDD National News.
For other development story, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has ordered government agencies to provide a whole of government assistance to Filipino workers coming from Lebanon. The Department of Migrant Workers Undersecretary Bernard Olalaya said every worker is expected to receive about 150,000 pesos financial aid. Olalaya said Marcos has instructed them to provide all forms of assistance to Filipino workers who will be repatriated from Lebanon. This means, aside from financial assistance, they will also receive psychosocial services.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Gina about Army Battalion Commander inspects troops boosts community support efforts.
SRO, 14th Civil Military Operations Battalion Commanding Officer Lieutenant Colonel Isagani Nato conducted a spot inspection of the 1st and 2nd companies stationed in an urban poor area. The visit aimed to assess the success of the community support program and ensure compliance with its goals. During the inspection, Lieutenant Colonel Nato emphasized the critical role of CSP in fostering trust and collaboration between the military and local communities, vital for maintaining peace and stability. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
Moving on to another story, there are no Filipino casualties during the missile attack of Iran on Israel and the mass shooting in Tel Aviv. According to the Philippine Embassy in Israel, upon receiving reports of an impending attack, the embassy immediately instructed Filipinos in Israel to be prepared to enter bomb shelters once they receive a text or app alert or upon hearing an alert siren. As a result, the embassy said that most Filipinos were already sheltering in place or already inside safe rooms when the shooting took place and shortly before the missile attack at about 7:30 p.m. They also thanked Pinoys in Israel for quick adherence to the embassy's safety guidelines.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Education issued the implementing guidelines for the rationalization of the workload of public school teachers and compensation for teaching overload. DepEd Secretary Sonny Angara said this would create a more balanced and sustainable environment for educators. According to DepEd, the memorandum addresses operational concerns raised by teachers and field personnel, ensuring consistency and clarity in the policy's execution. One of these is that teachers are not required to teach more than 6 hours per day under the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers or Republic Act number 4670.
Armed Forces Radio.
From Jess, let's hear more updates about TOG 5 celebrates 22nd anniversary honoring partnerships and service in Bicol region.
The Tactical Operations Group 5 celebrated its 22nd founding anniversary on October 1, 2024 with the theme Bagwis ng Kapayapaan tungo sa maunlad na kabikulan. The event, attended by Brigadier General Pedro S. Francisco III, Philippine Air Force Wing Commander of Tactical Operations Wing Southern Luzon, honored the group's mission of regional security and disaster response in the Bicol region. The celebration began with a speech from Major Lorraine Faurillo, Philippine Air Force, Deputy Group Commander, expressing gratitude for the TOG 5's partners. Colonel Jose Romulo Y. Dilag, Philippine Air Force MNSA Group Commander, highlighted TOG 5's contribution in counterterrorism, humanitarian missions, and community support. The event also recognized key stakeholders, government officials, and private sector partners for their support in ensuring safety and progress in the region. In his closing remarks, Brigadier General Francisco commended the TOG 5 for the 22 years of service and emphasized the importance of collaboration and future successes. This is Jess from Solcom reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jess from Solcom.
DWDD National News.
Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Zia Alonto Adiong has thanked President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. for for giving his firm commitment to expedite the restoration of water and electricity in Marawi City. Adyong is the chair of the House Ad Hoc Committee on Marawi Rehabilitation and Victims' Compensation. He said the president's crucial decision strikes right at the heart of the challenges they continue to face in the full rehabilitation of the city. He also added that the president's decisive action not only addresses a long-standing concern, but also reassures the people of Marawi that they are seen, heard, and supported.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
That's all for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, AFP Radio DWDD. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more updates, same time and same station. Again, this is Ralph Susan for AFP Community News. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.